What's up, man? This your money guy Coley here. Let me check out. This your money guy Coley, and this week's topic is basically the struggles with our personal transitions. So, I mean, where can I start? Like, it's such a broad topic. I mean, I could probably go on about it because I still haven't figured everything out. Oh wait, first before I start with this topic, I just want to clear something up from my last video because I read the comments under my video and I kind of felt like, I don't know, like people misinterpreted my video. I wasn't trying to say that. Like, I was basically in that video, I was speaking of my past ignorance when I joined the LGBT community when I was about 11 years old, and I had no idea about. I just started learning about the LGBT community. I was a part of it, but I knew about myself. I didn't know about the culture. So coming to college, when I'm in the Pride Center, I've learned a lot about masculinity and social constructs of being what gender you are and stuff like that. So I wasn't trying to make it seem like if you like being masculine makes you a man, or being feminine makes you a man, because there are feminine men that are men and identify as men that can be heterosexual and still are men, as well as masculine women that are heterosexual that are still women. I wasn't trying to say that, and I wasn't trying to diss nobody, like none of the studs or anything like that, because like I guess I wasn't getting the message across. Maybe I misinterpreted the comments, but yeah, basically what I was saying was I used to be ignorant to to all the different types of people that there are, and I didn't really understand why I was so different from everybody else, because I never met a transgender man before in my life, so I was ignorant to everything. I didn't really understand what was going on in here. But what overall, I was saying that there's no problem between trans men and studs. I love studs. That's all I was trying to say. Anyways, so moving on to this topic. So struggles within transition. I'm gonna try to go back. This week or this month I hit 10 months on T. So kind of this journey been going. So okay. So the first struggle I had was I started counseling with a counselor, and he wasn't very cooperative. And the myth that I want to debunk right here and right now is that you need to be on T to have top surgery. You do not need to be on T to have top surgery. So I went to this guy, and it's very important to get a counselor that knows a little something about transgender issues, because this guy didn't. So I was trying to get the paper signed for top surgery. I was 100% sure about getting top surgery before I was 100% sure about taking T, because I just wasn't sure about the effects, and I was scared of like rejection. Excuse me. I was scared of rejection, but I knew like that my chest was like, nah, I didn't want it. So I brought him the paper, and I told him like, okay, I need this signed, and he was like, oh, I don't know if I'm authorized to do this. I need to take it to my committee. And he took it to this little committee, and he came back, and he told me that you can't get top surgery. Even if you did, because you're not on T, your titties gonna grow back. That's basically what he said. And like that pissed me off, because I was really trying to get this date set, because it was a long time. Like wait, like it was like October. The date wasn't gonna be. It was October in 2015. The date. It was October 2014. The date wasn't gonna be until 2015. So I really needed this guy to sign the damn paper. Then he wouldn't do it. He told me basically that my chest was gonna grow back because I wasn't on T, and that really pissed me off. I remember just crying, because I really want to take this step in my journey, and he wouldn't allow me to. Right. So through that, I have been going to an endocrinologist, and I finally got to go take my T shot. My first appointment, and I go, and she's like, "Oh wait, here. Are you sure you don't want to have kids one day?" And hands me these pamphlets. I'm like, on the day I go to take my shot, you asked me this. So I ended up canceling my shot, and then that's when I went through the egg retrieval stuff. So a lot of stuff kept getting put off. But eventually, I did decide to do like the egg freezing process, and I ended up getting my top surgery date scheduled for June. So it was like a little less than a year. Wait for it. I went through the top surgery. I went through the egg retrieval process, and the first time I went through it, I was so excited because then I got to start T. And guess what? It went wrong, and the process was a month, so I had to go through it a whole nother month. So I was like supposed to start T in like December 2015. I ended up starting in June. So like those delays, and the fact that it got postponed to June, only a couple weeks before my top surgery, my surgery dates were back to back. It was like egg retrieval, T, top surgery, and that was a lot of stress on me. Um, that was something that I went through. But other than that, probably like in the beginning of your transition, one struggle is that when you start transitioning, you tell your friends and stuff and your family, they all know what's up, so they'll change their pronouns for you because they love you, because they respect your decision, but you may not look like a man. You know what I mean? So like when you're at your family, they're like he, but then you go out in public and they say she because that's what they see. And that was tough for me because it took a while. The biggest thing was my voice. And I think my facial features too. Like I think it was my voice mixed with my facial features. Um, from like 1 to 3, 4 months, I want to say, I was like it depended on I guess what the person saw. I was like sometimes I was he, sometimes I was she, and it was just like on and off. And I think um also in the beginning of a transition, even with your family, it's harder for them to change the pronouns because that's what they see and that's what they use. Like I mean, when you see a woman, you think you see a woman, so you're gonna say she. Like there's no denying that. So yeah, I get that was really hard. Another thing was I guess I really stress about because I transitioned like right when I graduated high school. So coming to college and making friends, I mean when you graduate from high school, let's be real, you lose everybody because don't nobody everybody just turned fake, right? So I didn't know how to go about making friends as a trans person. I'm not the type of person that goes to like LGBT spaces and needs to connect with all these trans men. I love everybody. So I don't care if you're straight or if you're cis, you know what I mean? Like I want to make friends with people in my classroom. I don't want to go to LGBT events and be all exclusive and shit. I want inclusion, you know what I mean? So like I want to be friends with everybody and like the whole like BSU, Black Student Union, all that. You know what I mean? So I really want to do that, and I was fearing like, okay, how do I come out to someone when I make a connection with them? What are they gonna say about me? What are they gonna like? What are they gonna think about me? Are they gonna judge me? Are they gonna I was always just thinking about what they thought of me, and I was so scared of it. But then when I really think about it, like I just I had to say whatever, like fuck their opinion, you know what I mean? Like I love me, and if I'm cool with me, that's all that matters, you know what I mean? Like I have my supporters, and as long as I support myself, if I meet somebody they don't accept me, then that's their loss, you know what I mean? Because I know I'm a good friend, I'm a good person, so I'm like, all right, I gotta stop worrying so much about what they're gonna think. Um, so that was something that I struggled with because in the beginning of my transition, I was so focused on what other people were gonna think of me once I told them I was trans. I didn't want them to look at me differently than how they were seeing me when they first met me. Um, my Instagram page was a big step for me. It was like a turning point in my life. I've always been such a closed person, like a person that doesn't express themselves and just really to themselves and keeps their business to themselves. You know what I mean? So I really had to force myself to post those pictures of like post top surgery, but like no shirt on, and really share my story because I had people from high school that follow me on there, and that was something. It may not seem like it was big because my captions are courageous, but like courage isn't like, oh, I wasn't scared. Yeah, I'm scared. I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be hurt for being trans. I don't want to be killed. You know what I'm saying? But like I had to do what I had to do. I wanted to inspire people. I wanted to be a voice for people. I wanted people to look at me and be like, damn, I could do that one day, because that's how I got the courage. I saw a bunch of trans men posting pictures like that, and I was like, damn, I want to be like that one day. And I just can't live my life not not being who I want to be. So I forced myself to do that, and that was really hard. Of course, I've had judgments. I've been cussed out before. I've been, the whole nine. Like now it's kind of like everything that people say. It's like it's the same thing. So you don't really get phased by it like that. Like it's the same. It's gonna be the same disrespectful questions, and it's just the same hate, like the same statements. Like everybody don't like you because you're trans or has something to say about you because you're trans. They're gonna keep saying the same thing. And what I learned to do is not to acknowledge those people, but to just to be like, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way. Um, Cause that's not really your problem. Like they so angry at a stranger. Like and most of me getting cussed out was like in personal messages. Like people just say some hurtful things. So that was a struggle for me. I didn't never have people come for me like that. But the news story that I had was definitely scary. But it wasn't as scary as coming out to people in person because I was talking to a bunch of people just watching TV. I wasn't connecting with them. Um, what else? I thought about like how dating is gonna be like, I mean like I'm not really interested in dating right now because people are just I don't want to date nobody, like I don't know. But I thought about dating, but I can't really tell you how it be about girls because so far, I mean like any girl that I've met that knows I'm trans, they don't act funny. Like they just like I don't know, like on social media, you know, girls don't seem to mind, like, but like, I don't know how the situation would be like if you met a girl and she ain't know you was trans and y'all talked and then you came out. Like, I couldn't tell you about that because I haven't had that yet. But that's something that I think about sometimes, like, I'd rather just blurt it out. I think one of the scariest things that I ever did was when I went to Africa. I've told this story before. When I went to the African American event at my school. It was called the Black Convocation. So it was like a convention full of black people. And I got up there and I said that I was transgender. Basically, it was like poetry, and I wrote a poem about me being transgender. And while I did it, I wasn't all strong and courageous and confident. I was like, I don't got a piece of paper, but I was like this, and my voice was shaking the whole time, and I was damn near about to cry. And like that threw me off the whole weekend. That was like one of the scariest moments in my life. Full like a room full of black people. You know how it is when, in our culture, any culture, Latino culture, Asian culture, Indian culture, you're not supposed to be that way. And um, the way I carry myself and stuff like that, like I guess like the way I look and my like the way I pass is stuff like it's not something that you think gonna come out my mouth. So it was definitely something that was scary. Scary. Probably one of the most brave, scary things I've ever done in my life so far. You know, um, that was definitely scary. Coming out to my friends, it was not that scary because everybody left. So never mind. Um, what else? Oh, like right now? Okay, so I think about this. So, okay, there's a trans person that passes, and there's a trans person that doesn't. I kind of think like if you're a trans person that doesn't pass, and you meet somebody, and you're like, I'm trans. Can you give me the right pronouns? They could say yes or no, and if they say yes, then you guys could be cool and that. But when you pass, like, and they give you the right pronouns, I just feel like it's kind of more unexpected when you tell them that you're trans. It's like, oh shit, like, like, I don't know. I think about that scenario a lot. Like, I feel like it's a little hard. Like, it's a little harder to like come out. Like, if you go to a gym or something, like, and you work out with a bunch of guys, and then one day somehow they find out that you're trans. Because I mean, I'm not stealth. That's something that's hard about my transition. I'm not stealth, and I would never be stealth. I come out and I say it. I let people follow me on Instagram. Um, I just embrace the title, embrace being that type of person. So I might make it seem like it's easy, I don't know, I might do it like, oh yeah, I'm trans, or like just do it, but it's really hard. Like, it's really hard for me because I'm still getting used to it. I'm still getting used to just putting it out there, and I'm still trying to figure out where society is with this whole trans movement and stuff like that, because it seems like when I'm around people more my age, it's more the adults that don't, like the old folks that don't really mess with it. I think that I'm growing in a generation that can be open-minded. I'm not saying everybody in our generation is open-minded, but um, I've just come to realize that a lot of people are more open-minded than I expected. I expected everybody to hate me as soon as I came out, which wasn't the case actually. One struggle I had early on in my transition was when I first came to college. I was like in the middle of my transition. I was like 5 months, and I kind of looked like a girl boy. Like I kind of looked like half in my body shape. Everything was wrong. Like for me, in my opinion, for my ideal, the way I wanted to look, um, it didn't look right, and I felt like my image was still loading. So when I socialized, I didn't like to socialize because my voice was still high. You know, maybe my body shape wasn't right. Everything was just not right. Like my facial hair, everything. I felt like I was still in progress. I didn't want to meet anybody while I was still in progress of becoming me, basically. And I didn't know how I looked when people. I had like a confidence issue. I didn't know how I looked to other people, how other people saw me, because I knew that how I felt wasn't how I looked on the outside. I didn't really know how I was carrying myself. It was weird. It was like the weirdest social confusion and lack of confidence within myself that I've had. But I'm over that now because I feel like the way I look, like I like it, and it's the way I imagined it to be. I mean, I'm still have progress to go, but like as far as my voice and my facial hair and just my image now, I'm comfortable with it. But this video getting a little long, so those are my struggles. If you have any more questions, feel free to hit me up. This your money guy Coley. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel. We appreciate you. I'm signing out.